Welcome to the 1 Year Book of Mormon. A non-Mormon reads through the Book of Mormon. Jacob, Chapter 4. Chapter Overview, Jacob's Continued Sermon. In verse 1, Jacob protests that he can only write a small portion of what he taught the people, quote, because of the difficulty of engraving our words upon plates. But of course that didn't stop Nephi from difficultly engraving 13 solid chapters of Isaiah at a whack, even though he had those chapters already in the brass plates. This makes no sense. Verse 4 seems too conscious of being read supposedly millennia later. For this intent have we written these things, that they may know that we knew of Christ, and we had a hope of his glory many hundred years before his coming. And not only we ourselves had a hope of his glory, but also all the holy prophets which were before us. Sounds suspicious. Like Joseph Smith had to put that in to say, oh yeah, I'm telling you really the truth. I swear it's really, really real. Trying too hard, I guess we could say. Verse 5 says, we worship the Father in his, that is Christ's, name. Saying Christ is obviously anachronist, but even worse, where in the Book of Mormon is the Father ever identified? He's never really identified, is he? The focus is on Jehovah, who is essentially identified as the pre-incarnate Jesus. So if we were to look at just the Book of Mormon to discover who Jesus' father is, we'd be mostly ignorant. Except for those passages that say that Jehovah, Jesus, is the Father and the Son, which is modalism. Also in verse 5 it says, for this intent we keep the law of Moses, except again they don't, because they don't have Levitical priests, they don't have descendants of Aaron to be their high priest, they don't worship at the single temple in Jerusalem, and they don't keep Passover at that temple, among other things. So again, we have vague blanket statements like this, that they keep the law, but we have no actual evidence of it. It's like Joseph Smith needed to say that they kept the law, but he didn't know enough of the law to know what was in the law to give examples of them actually doing the law. Verse 8 has several instances of borrowing, plagiarism, from the New Testament. For instance, the Book of Mormon says, behold, great and marvelous are the works of the Lord. Compare that to Revelation 15:3, which says, great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. The Book of Mormon says, how unsearchable are the depths of the mysteries of him, and it is impossible that man should find out all of his ways. While Romans 11:33 says, oh, the depth of the riches both of the wisdom and knowledge of God, how unsearchable are his judgments, and his ways past finding out. The Book of Mormon continues, despise not the revelations of God, which reminds me a lot of 1 Thessalonians 5:20, despise not prophesying. Finally, verse 9 sounds like ex nihilo creation, which modern Mormons deny. For behold, by the power of his word, man came upon the face of the earth, which earth was created by the power of his word. Wherefore, if God, being able to speak, and the world was, and to speak, and man was created, oh, then why not able to command the earth, or the workmanship of his hands upon the face of it, according to his will and pleasure? The Book of Mormon here states that God created via nothing but his word, that is, ex nihilo, out of nothing. However, modern Mormon doctrine is that matter is eternal, and God didn't create, that is, out of nothing, but only formed, that is, from pre-existing matter. Still, they have to deal with this verse which speaks of God speaking things into existence.